Hey, you! I need you to hit the subscribe button below.
Teacher, turn that thing up.
Shalom.
Most High Christ bless.
Turn the mic up, please.
All praise to the Most High. You tuned into the
Natives
Natives
Hour,
Hour, home of the 10
tribes.
tribes. I'm kind of getting to my right.
Officer Uriel.
All
praise.
praise. All praise. All
Shalom,
praise.
shalom.
Shalom.
Welcome back.
Shalom.
Welcome back.
Shalom. Hey, what's that? So welcome back.
Welcome back.
Hey,
Yes,
you
man.
not Judah.
Hey.
Hey, what you not Levi, bro?
Hey.
That's some Judite stuff right there.
Nah, I'm Levi. Y'all don't listen to that.
Oh, so now you Levi now. So now you Levi now.
Hey, anyway, what we got today, Cap? I think you got a good lineup.
Yeah, we do. And we're going to jump right back into it. We're going to jump right back into it. Last week, for those that, tuned in last week, we went over the brother bringing out
Heavy.
So-called Native American history.
Heavy content.
And we're going to go back into it because he going to bring out some heavy stuff. So we're going to jump right in it. We're going to jump right in it.
Bring it out.
Go ahead and play it. We're going to jump right into it.
Somebody's hurting our people, and it's gone on far too long.
For those that don't know, God don't call you Native American.
Right.
God don't call you Indian. God don't call you Hispanic. God calls you Israel, for those that don't know.
That's right.
For those that may be their first time listening and hearing.
Right. Yep.
God don't call you those things. God calls you Israel.
Bring it
Right?
out.
So
That's
stay
right.
tuned. You're going to learn a little bit more about yourself. Go ahead, play it.
First of all, just a side note, you should never give the mic first to a native. You have color people time, we have Navajo time, native time. You ain't seen nothing yet. Before we start, I want to just ask if there's anyone in the room here who is from the Piscataway or the Haudenosaunee tribes. Okay? I ask because it's the Piscataway who were ethnically cleansed from this land. They were the ones who lived here. They were the ones who hunted and fished here. They lived along the Potomac. And they, along with the Haudenosaunee, were the ones who were ethnically removed from this area so that the nation's capital could be built and so that white settlement could move in. And so I would just like everyone to give a round of applause for the Piscataway and the Haudenosaunee because of it's important that we acknowledge the people who have stewarded this land. It's important that we acknowledge that these lands were not discovered. In my presentation here, which I will do my best to keep to 3 minutes, I want to help you understand what it feels like from a systemic racism standpoint to be Native in the United States, especially around the celebration of holidays. We'll start simple. Columbus Day. Okay? It's quite obvious to anyone that you cannot discover lands already inhabited. If you don't believe me, leave your cell phones, your car keys, your wallets out. I'll come by and discover them for you. Clearly, this is not discovery. This is stealing. This is colonizing. This is conquering. And yet we have a statue just a few miles away from here honoring Columbus as the discoverer of America. This is a problem for Native peoples. Second, another holiday. Well, you'll remember about 3 years ago, we had a dialogue about the appropriateness of the Confederate flag. It was actually taken off of a Capitol building by an activist. This was in the spring of 2015. And I watched this with great interest because this was a good conversation. We had to have this. We needed to discuss this. But then I was really intrigued because just a few weeks after this dialogue died down, everyone took the day off. They bought their hot dogs, they bought their fireworks, and they went out to celebrate another piece of systemic racism within our country, which is the Declaration of Independence. You may not know this, but 30 lines after the sentence, all men are created equal, the Declaration of Independence refers to natives as merciless Indian savages. Making it very clear, the only reason our founding fathers used this inclusive term, all men, is because they had a very narrow definition of who was actually human. Now that brings us to today, President's Day, Abraham Lincoln's birthday. I'm going to say some history many of you may know. I know I will present some that none of you have never heard of before. In 1858, President Lincoln, in his first debate with Stephen Douglas, he said there was a physical difference between the white and the black man, which will never allow them to be on equal footing. I have no intention to make voters or jurors of Negroes, nor to allow them to vote, nor to allow them to intermarry with us. And as long as there must be a position of superior and inferior, I believe the race to which I belong will always be the superior race. President Lincoln said the same thing almost verbatim in the fourth debate with Stephen Douglas. In his inauguration, he said, I have no intention to free the slaves, for slavery already exists. And if you want to know how I feel about the races and black people, go back and read what I've said before. And then he quoted himself from the first debate. In 1862, when Horace Greeley called for the immediate emancipation of the slaves, Abraham Lincoln said, my primary objective in this struggle is not to save or destroy slavery. It is to preserve the Union. If I could save the Union without freeing a single slave, I would do it. If I could save it by freeing all the slaves, I would do it. If I could save it by freeing some and leaving others alone, I would also do that. That quote is hanging at the Lincoln Memorial, stating for anyone who comes in, according to Abraham Lincoln, black lives don't matter. Now, you all know that when he emancipated the slaves, he didn't free all of them. Now, what you may not know is that Abraham Lincoln used the pretext of the Civil War to further the campaigns against Indian people. December 26th of 1862, President Abraham Lincoln ordered the largest mass execution in the history of our nation with the hanging of the Dakota 38.
Hey, pause it real quick. Stuff like this, you ain't gonna learn in school.
Right.
You're not gonna learn this on any social group, any sports illustrated magazine, any television show. You're not gonna learn this stuff. You're not gonna learn this stuff. What the brother's saying is that everything that they told us represented good,
Right.
actually was a representation of evil. They told us Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves.
Right. And
Right?
And he was for the slaves.
And he was for the slaves.
Right.
But Abraham Lincoln actually owned slaves.
Right. And out of his own mouth, he said, I will not make these slaves jurors or voters. He
Basically,
didn't want to.
right. Basically, what Abraham Lincoln said is that it's no way on God green earth will these niggas be equivalent to us white folks.
Right.
It's impossible.
Yep. And they all felt the same.
And they all felt the same way. It's no way that these Indian savages will be equivalent to us white folks.
Right.
This is what your greatest president, what they say Abraham Lincoln was the greatest president.
Right.
Because he freed the slaves.
It was the founding fathers.
Right. The founding fathers. But he
Yeah,
actually was a representation of evil.
Bring
Go to
it
Obadiah real quick.
out.
Go to Obadiah. Go to Obadiah.
For real.
Where's what it says in every last one of them? You know what I'm talking about? Is that Obadiah?
No,
or
that's
is
Psalms.
or that, no, it's not Psalms.
It's
Is it?
really,
Let's go to Obadiah.
Inward thought, every one of them.
No. Hold up. Read verse 1.
The book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord God concerning Edom.
Concerning Edom. Edom is the white man today. God calls you Edom, Esau, Idumea.
Right.
Jump down to verse 2.
Verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen.
Go ahead.
Thou art greatly despised.
Thou art greatly despised. Read.
The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee.
This man is very prideful. This man is very prideful. Read on.
Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock.
That should tell you it's talking about the Caucasus Mountains of Russia.
You got to get it.
The Caucasian.
Get it up.
Hey, they tell you they are Caucasian.
Right.
God said they come from the clefts of the rocks. Read.
Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
Go ahead.
Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars.
Setting us among the stars. We're seeing that now. Space Force.
Right.
Read on.
Thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord.
Read that part again.
Thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord.
All of the atrocities, you got to imagine, right? All the atrocities that this man has done to God's people, 80% of it is hidden.
Right.
80 to 90% of it is hidden.
Damn, yeah.
We only knowing about 5%, 7% of what they really have done to us, bro.
Yeah, amazing.
That's all we know.
Right.
80% of the atrocities that the white man has done to God's people is covered up.
Damn, that's
Only God knows.
Right, right.
That's what the Lord say, I'm going to bring you down. I'm going to get you. Because my people, they really don't know what you have done. They really don't know the deepness of your thoughts.
Right.
They don't know how far back the history go. They don't know how generationally you have raped, murdered, colonized my people.
Right.
Through generations after generations after generations. My people don't know. But I know. That's why the Lord said he's going to do what?
Thence will I bring thee down.
God said he's going to bring you down. He's going to bring you down. All right? Look, you got something?
No, what I was going to say was, because when you go to Psalms real quick, right? Bring out Psalms real quick. Psalms 50 and verse 21. Because what you're saying is, you're absolutely right. We don't know the depths of the wickedness of Esau, and we just know the surface, you know. So we don't know the deep craftiness of what they have done until we examine the scriptures, and the Most High gonna bring it out. Psalms 50 and verse 21, real quick.
The book of Psalms, chapter 50 and verse 21.
Bring it out.
These things hast thou done, and I kept silence.
See, God said these things that they have done, and He has kept silence. So even the things that we don't know about, the things that they have done in the background, in the covert of the darkness. Read on.
Though thou thoughtest that I was altogether such a one as thyself.
Because the Most High God ain't do nothing to him yet. Read.
But I will reprove thee.
Read.
And set them in order before thine eyes.
The Most High God said he gonna correct them. He gonna correct them, which bring us back to Obadiah. Which say, who shall we say the habitation is high, and who shall bring me down to the ground? They proud. The Most High gonna bring them down. He gonna correct them. He gonna show them all the stuff y'all been doing in the background, in the shadows. It's gonna be brought to light, and y'all gonna be brought down.
Hey, and then he said he gonna set us in order.
Right.
He gonna set us, and that's what the Lord is doing. The Lord is setting his children, his sons, and his daughters in order.
Yep.
Right in the midst of Esau coming down.
All praises to the Most High.
Go back to the video.
Thing. For real.
In 1864, a U.S. Army under the command of Commander-in-Chief Abraham Lincoln came across Cheyenne and Arapaho men, women, and children, 200 of them encamped over a hillside in Colorado. They were waving a white flag of surrender and an American flag, and they ordered all of them slaughtered. It was later reported that the soldiers paraded their genitalia down the streets of Denver. In 1861, they stepped up their campaigns against the Navajo and the Pueblo in New Mexico. In August of 1863, a general of the U.S. Army gave this order to one of the soldiers. He said, henceforth, every Navajo male is to be killed or taken prisoner on sight. Say to them, go to the Bosque Redondo, or we will pursue you and destroy you. We will not make peace with you or any other terms. This war shall be pursued until you cease to exist or move. There can be no talk on the subject. And then they rounded up over 8,000 Navajo men, women, and children and marched us down to Bosque Redondo in what is known as the Long Walk. I want to say this. As a Navajo man, I find many of the holidays celebrated by the United States of America lamentable. 4th of July, Columbus Day, Thanksgiving. But President's Day, the fact that as a nation we celebrate Abraham Lincoln's birthday and have whitewashed the exploits of a racist, genocidal, ethnic cleansing president like Abraham Lincoln is ethically, politically, socially, and morally reprehensible. Thank you very much.
and it's gone on far too long, and we won't be silent.
Yeah, so the brother said us celebrating a president's birthday
Right.
that have done the atrocities to the so-called Native Americans and the black man as well.
Yep.
That you know what basically saying you got to be stupid.
For real.
You got to be stupid. It's like celebrating the birthday of Hitler.
Right. Right.
It's like celebrating Hitler's birthday.
Dang, so when you put it like that, it should enlighten the eyes.
Yeah, it's like celebrating Hitler's birthday.
Right.
Everybody say, as soon as you say the word Hitler,
Right, for
oh
real.
my God. Now we say, oh, let's all celebrate Hitler's birthday. We'll be thrown in jail. They'll probably kill our ass. We'll be thrown in jail.
What?
You anti-Semitic. You don't like Jew. You don't like the Jewish people. You don't like Israel.
Heresy.
Hey, give me Deuteronomy 28. Give me Deuteronomy 28, man. Time to wake up.
It's funny because he basically put 4th of July, President's Day, Thanksgiving, all of those in the same boat. It's all in the
Because they
same
all
boat.
in the same boat.
Right.
All of them. Every last one of them. If President's Day represented a man who slaughtered God's people, you best believe Thanksgiving represents the same
Yep.
thing. 4th of July represents the same thing.
thing.
Give us some more. Christmas represents the same thing.
ain't no
Because they
difference.
was giving us as gifts.
Right.
And you read that in Revelations.
Yep.
They was giving us as gifts on Christmas Day.
Yep. To be made merry.
It
Yep.
all represents the same thing. All comes back to the damn devil.
Yep.
That's what all comes back to. Hey, hold that. Give me Jeremiah. Give me the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30. It all comes right back to somebody being the damn devil. Let me see. Jeremiah 30 and verse 14.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 30 and verse 14.
Bring it out.
All thy lovers have forgotten thee.
Mm-hmm.
They seek thee not. For I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy,
Go ahead.
with the chastisement of a cruel one.
Go ahead.
For the multitude of thine iniquity,
Iniquity.
because thy sins were increased.
Our sins are increased. Watch this.
Why criest thou for thine affliction?
Mm-hmm.
Thy sorrow is incurable for the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased. I have done these things unto thee.
Watch this.
Therefore, all they that devour thee,
All they that devour thee. That's talking about slavery.
Right.
That's talking about slave ships. That's talking about Ponce de Leon, Christopher Columbus, Abraham Lincoln,
Right.
Andrew Jackson. That's talking about all the boarding schools.
Bring it.
All the atrocity that happened to the so-called Native American Indians,
Right.
to the so-called Hispanics. All of thee that devour, read,
therefore all they that devour thee,
all they that put you through persecution, unspeakable persecution,
Right.
unspeakable atrocities, things that you can't even speak on.
Things that haven't been made aware of at all.
Right,
Even now.
things that have been so done, things that were so disgusting, horribly wrong,
Right.
that they had to cover it up today in 2021. Damn! They had to cover it up because they know that at this time and age, this is the time where Israel gonna wake the hell up. So they say, you know what?
right.
We can't tell them what we did to them. We can't have this stuff in the books because they read this, that it's gonna lead them right to God. It's gonna lead them to their nationality being awakened now,
Right.
which means it's gonna lead us to our destruction. Israel's awakening is Esau's destruction. Read.
That's right.
therefore all they that devour thee
All they that devour thee,
shall be devoured.
God says they're gonna be devoured. They gonna be devoured. The Lord gonna, you know I said the Lord got their card,
Got their number.
got their number. The Lord gonna pull their card. Read.
And all thine adversaries,
All thine enemies. Adversaries means enemies. All thine enemies. Read.
every one of them shall,
Every what?
every one of them
Every single one of them. That's the white man. That's the China man.
Chinese.
That's the Japanese man.
Arab.
That's your Arab man.
Yep.
That's your Russian man. That's your East India. 1, 2, 3.
Done do three.
1, 2, 3. That's his because he hate of it. Hey, we be forgetting they hate our guts.
Right. Yeah.
1, 2, 3. They hate our guts.
For real.
For real though.
They set up these corner stores and selling us this crap poison to our
Right. They
people.
don't even eat. They hate our guts.
Right.
God says every last one of them, read.
every one of them shall go into captivity.
All
right.
praises. The Lord said every last one of them,
That's
they're going to be put into captivity. They going into slavery, y'all. All praises to the
For
Most
real.
High.
Make my teeth white.
Make my teeth white. All praises to the Most High. Read on.
And they that spoil thee.
And they that spoil thee. I'm going to give an example of them spoiling us. Hold that. Hold that. Go to Deuteronomy 28. Go to Deuteronomy 28. I'm going to give an example of us being spoiled. Deuteronomy 28 and read verse 48.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 48.
Bring it out.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies,
God said we're going to serve our enemies. Read.
which the Lord shall send against thee.
The Lord sent our enemies against us.
Yep.
The white man didn't just wake up one morning and say, you know what? I think I'm gonna go to this place that no man ever knows about, and there we're gonna find some savages.
For real.
Nah, the Lord was guiding them. The Lord was guiding them, saying, you know what, go here. It's my children over here that thought I forgot that they need an ass whooping. They thought I forgot about that ass whooping that I promised them thousands of years ago. hey, you know when you're a father, right? And you tell your son, you be at work, when I get home, I'm going to tear your butt up.
Yeah, right.
When I get home, I'm going to tear your butt up. And you come home, this is what I do. You go home and you pretend like you forgot, just so you can catch them off guard.
For real.
You pretend, hey, son, how you do? All praise, shalom.
They be happy as hell.
Shalom.
too.
Nah, they be like this. Be waiting on, did he forget? You eat dinner. You watch a little TV. You send him to bed. He think he good. And he just pop up in the room with the belt. Hey, so you thought I forgot about you, huh? You thought it was all sweet and cakes and pies and cookies.
Man, you kill them by anxiety alone.
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
When is he gonna come?
That's what you got to do. You got to build that fear factor. But God said, I'm going to send my children over here because they thought I forgot about their ass whooping. Go over here, read.
Right.
which the Lord shall send against
The
thee.
Lord sucked them enemies against us, read.
In hunger.
In hunger,
And-
hold on, slow down. In hunger, we got to serve our enemies. We got to go to our enemies in hunger. The Walmarts.
Right.
Even when you deal with the so-called Native Americans, right? Because God don't call you Native American. God calls you Gad or Reuben. That's what God calls you, of the nation of Israel. Even what you was accustomed to, the white man came and took it. Now you got to go to the white man to buy food that you were already raising, farming, and killing before they got here. You was already doing that.
Yep.
What they did, killed off all the buffalo,
Right.
ate all the crops. Now they GMO'd the land. Now you got to go to your enemy to buy the food that you were already planting, growing, and cropping and harvesting before they got here.
I hate it here.
That's captivity, man.
Right. That's at its finest.
They came here, stole your land,
Took your stuff. what
took your
belonged to
food,
you,
and now you got to go to them.
and sold it back to you.
Yeah, sold it back. Hold that. Go to limitations.
Damn.
Go to limitations. You know what I want.
Sold it back to you.
Remember now we talking about spores. Everyone that spoil thee, right? Go to limitations.
5 and 2.
Hold up, let me trying to get it with one hand. All right, there we go. Limitations. Start at verse 1.
Bring it out.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 5 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
Remember, O Lord, what is come upon us.
Go ahead.
Consider and behold our reproach.
Read.
Our inheritance
Our land,
is turned to strangers.
our land is now being ruled by strangers. Our land has been ruled by the Gentiles.
Right. For real.
Our land has been ruled by people that are not yours, God. Read.
Our houses to aliens.
God says the people that took our land, our inheritance, God calls them illegal aliens.
Right.
We say that to call Issachar illegal aliens. They like to call Mexicans and Hispanics illegal aliens.
But
God says the white man
y'all the immigrants.
is the true illegal alien. You are an alien.
For real.
Read.
We are orphans.
We are orphans. Why are we orphans? Because they raped, robbed, murdered us, stole us from our parents,
Right.
burnt us alive, hung us on the trees. Read.
We are orphans
Uh-huh.
and fatherless.
And fatherless.
Our mothers are as widows.
Our mothers are widows because they took the man, made them breeders. They took the man, tied him to horses, ripped them apart from the whole plantation. Our mothers are widows, read.
We have drunken our water for money.
We are drunken our water for money. We got to pay for our own water.
Right.
Things that before the white man got here, we wasn't doing.
Right.
Read.
We have drunken our water for money. Our wood is sold unto us.
That's like somebody coming stealing your car and you got to buy it back from them.
Right.
They stole it, but you got to buy it back.
Yeah. Damn.
It says our wood is sold unto us. Go back to Deuteronomy 28 and read verse 48 again.
That's a curse, y'all. I'm gonna tell you.
That's
something.
curse.
Yeah,
and let you know you are the people of the book.
right. You are Israel.
You are the Israelites. Read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 48.
Bring it out.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
It says in hunger, in thirst, in nakedness. The white man knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
We was using the buffalo not only for food, but as shelter, for nakedness, for the clothing. Not only for that, but for weapons.
Yep.
The buffalo wasn't just food.
Right.
The buffalo took care of many different offices of the so-called Native American lives. The white man said, you know what, we gonna kill off all the buffalo because that's their life source.
Yep.
That's their source of life. That's their food, their shelter, their weapons, their clothing. So we're going to destroy that. We're going to take that away.
Right.
And now we're going to
force
them to solely depend on me.
Right.
Damn. That's what they did. They forced us to solely depend on them. And when we depend on them, guess what? Now we in plantations where there is no running water. Right. There is no electricity. Yep. There is no good schools. There is no funding. Nothing. Nothing but suicide and drunkenness on these reservations.
Drug abuse.
That's it. Read on.
And he shall put a yoke of iron.
Go back. Hold up when it says, and in one of all things.
And in want of all things.
In anything you can think of, you got to go to your enemy to buy it. Anything you can think of. Your death certificate got to come from your enemy that put the stuff in the air, in the food, in your environment to kill your behind. And then you got to go to them to get your certificate to die.
Right.
Come on now, dog.
That ain't right. That ain't right.
To get buried properly, you got to go to your enemy.
Come on, man.
Who you think put the laws of burial out there? Your enemy.
Right.
And one of all things.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
Read on.
Until he have destroyed thee.
Until he have destroyed us. Because now that yoke of iron ain't on our necks no more. Right. That's why everybody say, oh, I ain't no slave. I'm free. You ain't free. You still slavery of the brain. But that's why I hold that. Go back to Jeremiah 30. Remember, we went to Deuteronomy 28 to bring out a point. Go back to Jeremiah 30.
The point you calling yourself Indian,
right?
A Native American.
There you go. Talk about Tom. You Mexican. You two-spirited.
Right. The hell is this?
The white man taught you that. Right. Your ancestors weren't no damn two-spirited.
Ain't what?
That's that LGBTQ for natives.
You get
right.
Read verse 16.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 30 and verse 16.
Bring it out.
Therefore, all they that devour thee,
shall
be devoured.
Read.
And all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity.
Here's the point. Right.
And they that spoil thee.
They that spoil us. That's that what we read in Deuteronomy 28.
Right.
That's that. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
Right.
Until they have spoiled us.
Yep.
Now, don't nobody want nothing to do with the black man. Don't nobody want nothing to do with the Hispanic man, the Native American man, because now we have been spoiled. Right. It's like milk.
Right.
When you spoil milk, you put it back in the fridge, ain't nobody gonna drink it. The only thing you can do with it is what? Throw it away.
Yep.
And that's what that's what they have done to the Israelite man and woman. That's what they have done. That's why God says, all they that spoil thee, read,
shall be a spoil.
Shall be a spoil. Read.
And all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey.
All they that prey upon us will I give for a prey. What's going on in Haiti right now is the white man preying upon the people of Haiti. What's going on in Cuba is the white man preying upon the people of Cuba. What's going down in America every day is the white man preying upon the minds of the black man and woman.
Bring it out.
That's what's going on all over the world. The white man is preying upon the Israelites. Oh, let me go in and assassinate the president just to make you turn to me to get help. Let me go in and start a riot, a coup in Cuba, just for the people of Cuba to call for America to help them.
Right.
America is the problem, the source.
Right.
But they make people believe that coming to them will bring peace.
It's the solution.
Is the solution.
Right.
That's why God says, and all they that prey upon thee, I will give for a prey.
Right.
That's a cold.
Because all these nations have preyed upon the Israelites.
Right.
And they're preying upon us till this day.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.